All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the class. I hope you all are doing very well. I see some of you have joined already. Okay. Yeah, hi, good morning. So, what we did in the last class was we finished the formal letters and official communications part, and we started with formal emails. But I think we're going to be continuing. We will continue with that, and I'm going to repeat myself with at least introductory topics again, because maybe there are few people who have just joined today, and yeah, so I will be repeating. I will be starting all over again, and we'll be finishing this chapter today itself. It's a very easy one, kind of what we have studied in the previous chapter in formal letters. It's kind of you can say the purpose is same, of course, of both, but the technology part and the format, that is different. And so we'll be studying that at length, how to write an email. Now, before I start with the class, is there any problem that anybody has? Anybody would like to ask me any question related to formal letters, or maybe the beginning of formal emails as well? Okay, if there is no problem, let's start with today's class. I'm just going to share my PPT with you. How to write complaint email against delayed or Harshita, we have not started with emails chapter. So you are asking me something that we've not even started yet. Good morning. All right, just look at the PPT. Okay. As we discussed earlier, that most of the people have switched from formal letters to formal email writing. Right now, why? Because it seems like the most easy way to send an email, because it is fast, it is immediate, it allows you to interact with people. Even if you don't know someone, it's very easy to at least write them the email. That was the same case with letter also. But I feel now today's time has changed because of technology and how our lifestyles are, how everything revolves around internet. So emails became an integral and indispensable part of our professional world as well as personal, right? It is just not restrictive to only professional and the business world. And even personally, also emails have made so much our life so much easy. Earlier, when people they had their family and friends living abroad, it was so difficult for everyone to write them letters because that letters used to take time to reach there, right? Similarly, if somebody is sending a letter from there, it takes time to reach to you. So if somebody wants to share your good news with you or a bad news with you or a general conversation also, that happened over the days, right? And phone calls, if you remember, at that time, the phone calls also were not cheap. So not everybody could afford a phone call. But now, email becomes a very, effective way because you just need an internet, right? And these days, we know the internet is so cheap. Everybody has internet. Everybody has data in their mobile phone. So everybody can do an email, right? Now, what is an email? Email is an electronic mail, right? Because it is electronically sent. It is sent through a system, electrical system, which is computer, laptop, phones, iPad, tablets, whatever you use, and you just shoot it. It comes in your email just as a mail letter. It comes in your inbox. You read it, then you reply to it. The thing is the same, right? Now, it's a very common use of means of communication now. I have seen everybody getting used to it, even the elderly generation. Even they have become so used to of email writing now. I mean, it's been past what I think 10, 15 years that I've been seeing people getting really habitual of it. Now, nobody finds it difficult to send an email. It is fast, it is immediate. It's just a click away. You draft something, you put press the send button, it is gone. Right? It is immediate because the other person gets it in a second or so. That's it. It allows you to interact with all kinds of businesses. Now, it doesn't matter who you are, from where you're coming. If you have the email ID, send an email. Right? And people usually go through their inbox. They go through what emails they have got. So that at least grabs the attention on an everyday basis. It connects you with within and beyond the national boundaries. Now, it is so easy to approach people outside the country also over emails. Now, for example, you are a supplier of eatables, right? And you want to start exporting the food products to, maybe Dubai, Singapore, US, UK, wherever, whichever country you want to, right? Now you find the people who import such stuff and you just send them an email. You don't have to call them. You don't have to go and meet them. Of course, you have to meet them once, you decide that over the emails. But it is so easy to approach somebody for business now. And if you have any other kind of business which you think and you need international clientele, it is so easy for you to just send an email and approach the person. Yeah. Sometimes things will work out, sometimes it will not work out, but that is applicable on the fact that even if you go and meet someone, the meeting will be productive, and sometimes nothing will happen also. So that's okay. But email saves your time, it saves your cost, it saves so much of your effort. Now, it requires certain skills being a professional setup. Now, if you want somebody to look at your email and your email should grab attention of someone, certain skill sets are required. You have to be very professional. It has to be professionally designed email with proper details, yet being short and crisp. Essential not to make mistakes. Now, in email writing, people pay attention to mistakes a lot, and it's easily visible because emails are not very long, right? So try not to make mistakes. For example, it could be a logic mistake. Don't be illogical when you're drafting an email. It could be a spelling or grammar mistake. Don't do that, right? It creates a very bad impression. Check, double check, triple check your email before sending. Always do that. Proofread it. Because once it's gone, it's gone. You cannot take it back. Sometimes, if you have a confusion, you've quoted the wrong price of something. That is also wrong. Now you can't take it back. You can't really basically justify that it was a mistake. It doesn't create a good impression. And how could you make a mistake of such a thing? It's such a big thing. Pricing of a product. Vital aspect of business communication, yes. Now, if two people are working together, They can't keep calling each other for small things when you're working on the same project. Sending an email is quite polite way. Some you are not even bothering someone. Someone will read the email when they have time to read the email and they responded to you. Calling and discussing thing again and again, it becomes really irritating, and it's kind of I would say it doesn't make sense to call someone again and again. Right, so email writing is a vital aspect of business communication because most of the conversations these days happen on emails only. If you're deciding something about the subject, if you about the project, if you have to discuss about the future prospects or some issues and problems have been there, everything can be done over emails. Yes, because at the end of the day, it is a fast and immediate mode of communication, right? So if you send me an email, I'll see the email. If I think it's very urgent and that needs to be discussed over the phone call, I'll give you a phone call. Otherwise, I'll reply it over the email. Okay, any approvals required, any solution required, everything is possible on email. Am I clear? Any problems? Now, there are two types of emails, but let's just discuss about. No. Okay. Now, there are two types of emails: formal email writing and informal email writing. Now, in informal, the format remains the same because there is a proper structure that is created that you cannot skip, right? But in terms of language, you can just do in informal email writing, there is no as such hard and fast rule about how to write an email because it totally depends on your comfort with the other person. You are at ease and you can do whatever you want, right? But in formal emails, there's some proper etiquettes that needs to be followed. There's some certain things that needs to be followed, right? For example, when you are, you have to avoid the abbreviations, contractions, slang, emoticons, and other informal terminology. Okay. Your grammar has to be perfect. Your sentences have to be complete. You cannot use short forms. You cannot use an emotional language. You cannot use slang language. The words that are not, proper words, right? No abbreviations, no contractions, no slang, no emoticons, and no informal terminology. No jargons to be allowed, right? But it is a right choice of some business situations when you do not know the person, when you do not know the person well, or you're writing to somebody in authority, then it is a perfect choice of communication. Because somebody in authority, you can't just simply call in the office and connect with a person. You need to take an appointment, and for that appointment, you have to write an email. Right? In earlier days, people used to leave a formal letter, right? But and some people still do that. I'm not denying that. But email, some people who can afford to write an email, they just send an email, right? Anything that you would like me to just repeat? Oh, yes. So we discussed about two types of email writing, which is formal and informal. There is another type of email writing, which is a semi formal email writing, which is basically addressed to the colleagues functioning within the team or at a seniority level. So when you're working, you're sending emails within your teams. That's called semi-formal because you're not too formal, and you're not even casual in talking to your colleagues. But yes, even if you're writing a semi-formal email, your language can be casual and friendly, but you have to maintain some etiquettes of formal email writing also. Like, for example, no slangs allowed again, no abbreviations, and no emoticons and no slang. Right? Your sentences have to be like proper, complete sentences. Your grammar has to be proper, right? So that was yes, but it is just a little more lenient than formal emails. Are we clear? And informal email writing, you can just write the way you want. You want to use slangs, you want to use abbreviations. There's no particular style of writing. The only thing is that the purpose of email should be clear to the one who's receiving it, which is also called as recipient, right? So make sure when you're writing an email, you take care of all of this, right? Clear? Any problem? Second point. Okay. When you're sending an email to someone who you don't know well or someone in authority. Now, formal email writing, when you write it formally, you can even write it to the people whom you don't know well. And when you're writing to somebody in a senior position, right? It is the right choice because emails are considered to be a polite and courteous way of approaching someone. If you want to talk about something, you want to do business with someone, you want to give a business proposal, or you have a problem with something, or you want to discuss about a project with the senior management people, email is the right way of approaching it rather than arranging their number and giving them a call on their personal phones. That's not a good thing to do without permission. Send an email, take an appointment, and then go ahead. Here, I'm waiting for you guys. If in case you have any problem, I can explain that. So the semi-formal email writing is the one that you write it to your colleagues in a team. Okay? Okay, now let's move forward. Perfect. Thank you, Nishi. Thank you. Okay, I want you to look at both the messages and tell me what is the difference. There is a difference in use of language in two messages. Read and tell me your observations. Quickly. All right, let's see what you have sent. Good, Rishika. Anybody else? Yes, the first one is a formal language. If you see, the message is clear and it's complete. The meeting is scheduled for December 5th at 9:30 a.m. All students must attend. All students must attend. Your project's updates are needed. The required meeting, December 5, 9:30 a.m. Updates needed. See ya there. And emoticon. Now, in the first one, if you see, the message is clear and it is a formal language used that there's going to be a meeting. The date is there, the time is there, and who should attend is there, and why this meeting is, what is the agenda of the meeting, that is also clear. In the second one, no complete sentences are there. The message is abrupt. You don't know what update needed for what. And see are there. You don't use that for a formal setting. Right? So now you see the understand between the difference between both the languages. Right. Next. Now let's go through the format of email writing. Now this is the format of email writing, and I will show you over the emails also. All these sections are already given when you compose the email. Now what is the steps for email writing? First you compose the email, right? Then you send the email, right? So when you compose the email, all of these sections will open up on its own, and you just to fill up. Now from is the sender's name / email ID. Now, I have, like, for example, me, who sends a lot of emails, I have, for my regular people, I've already saved the contact, which is the email ID. That's already saved in my phone book as well. So, for example, the person's name is Ramesh. Okay. The email ID is ramesh@gmail.com. Right. So from either I write down Ramesh because I already have the list and it will pick up the email ID itself. Otherwise, from you have to write the proper complete email ID, which is ramesh@gmail.com. Right. To whom are you sending? Who's going to receive it? Right. Now the receiver's name will come. Then comes the CC. Now CCC and BCC are two sections which are used professionally or otherwise also. Now, CC is that the same carbon copy, like the same email, has been sent to other people also. So you type more email IDs. Like, for example, A and B. A is sending an email to B, but A also wants C and D to have the knowledge about the conversation. So A will put the email ID of C and D in the CC. Clear? Now, what BCC is? Now, in BCC also, people receive the email, right? Various people. But receiver doesn't get to know to whom the email has been sent. Now, for example, A sends the email to B. Now, A doesn't want B to know who else is reading this email. So C and D has also been marked, who has also received the same email. Now, other way to put it around is now these days you have seen a lot of marketing emails coming in your mailboxes. All of these brands sending email when they have the sale happening, whenever they open up a new store, whenever they have new product launch, right? So when you get this email, go back and check. Can you see who else has received that email? They send about like 1 lakh, 2 lakh, or 5 lakh messages, right? And but you don't get to know. 1 second, guys. Yes. So, see, when you receive these emails, can you see who else has received these emails? No. They also send emails like 5,000, 10,000 emails in one go, right? But you don't get to see. Because obviously, why would they share their data with you? That is irrelevant to you, one. Second, nobody wants to share their data to whom all they're sending, who are the clients, right? To whom all they're sending the email. So they don't want to do that. So BCC basically helps you mostly in terms of marketing when you're sending out emails to a lot of people, right? So you put their email IDs there so that nobody gets to know who else has received this email. Are we clear? Are we clear, guys? Okay. Then comes the subject, which is so important in emails. Now, in your inbox, you see the subject line showing first. Now, if your subject line is not properly framed, or if your email is without subject line, trust me, nobody's going to read it. It will go simply into the trash, right? So, subject is very important because it basically tells, it is kind of a heading of your email, that what this email is about. For example, regarding the admission in your college, right? Regarding the admission in this application for the job, for the post of junior associate, whatever. Then comes the salutation. Now, salutation is to whom you're sending an email, address the person. Dear Mr. Agrawal, dear Mr. Jones, yes, uh, dear Shikha, dear Om, that is a salutation, right? Then comes the main body. Now, main body has again, you can make 2 or 3 paragraphs wherein you divide about based on your what your topic is about. We will be discussing how you divide your email, but email is supposed to be short only, so make sure that you do not write long emails, right? Then there is a closing. You close the email. Then closing is the one closing line, like looking forward to hear from you soon. I would be happy to hear from you soon, right? Then comes the attachments. Now, attachments is very important if you are attaching a document. You also mention a line in your email if there's some attachment so that nobody misses the attachment. Also, you need to check before sending your email twice, thrice, if the attachments are correct or not. Then comes the signature line. The signature line contains your name, your designation, your phone number. Are we clear? Right? Are we clear about the format, guys? Any problem? Pali, yes. CC and BCC is optional. You don't have to choose it every time. All right. I want to show you the email part. People who know about the email, very good. The ones who do not, I'm just going to show you the composing of emails. Give me a second. CC and BCC is an optional. You don't have to read. You don't have to basically. I want to just stop the screen share for a minute. Okay, let's see. Now you can make an email ID on any of the servers. I'm sure all of you have the email IDs. Now in this case, basically, one second. In this case, when you send an email, you type to whom you are sending the email. Now, when somebody receives the email, they automatically has from. And here, because you've logged in from your system, so you don't have to use the from word here, technically. Yes. So to, for example, you can pick any email ID. Yeah, I just have some random email ID. I don't know who this person is. So we pick up this. Right now, this is the email ID to whom I want to send the email. Now, please understand. Now, do you see this contact box here? Once you send the email and once you frequently send the email, your email ID starts storing those email IDs. So as soon as you just try to type the name of the person, the email ID will come on its own. Am I clear? Yes? Okay. Now, so two is this. Now I can add more email IDs also. At yahoo.in, right? Yahoo.com. There's so many others, yahoo.com, Gmail, Hotmail, various kind of, I mean, every company has their own, domains also, right? Like, for example, these Amazon, Flipkart, they have their own domains. Are we clear? So you can write down to as many as you want to hear. Then this is CC and then there is BCC. Now these two things are optional. Now CC is when same email is marked to a lot of people and everybody can see who all has received this email. So sometimes, you're sending an email to the your boss basically. One person is sending the email to the boss and marking the rest of the team members also, because all the team members should know what conversation is happening, right? So it's very common in, professionally. CC is very common. CC though is like, you use it every day because everybody needs to be on the same page what is happening. Now, BCC is sometimes, like for example, I'm sending an email to my client, right? And my boss is marked in BCC because we don't want to tell the client that the same email has been marked to sir as well, or sir or ma'am as well. So I just put it on the BCC so that sir knows that this conversation is happening. The sir doesn't want to be part of the conversation in front of the client, but he should know what is happening, right? To have a transparency within the organization, right? So for client, I am the contact person, right? But my boss should also know what is happening, what I am telling the client, what client is asking from me, what kind of dealing we both are dealing with. So my boss needs to be marked in every email. So I put it in the BCC. Now BCC means that my boss gets the email in his box and he sees what is happening. Clear? That is where also BCC is used. Now, but these two options are optional. Then you come with a subject line. Subject line is very important. This is my email. So I want to get the admission of my child in one of the schools. And then this is my subject line regarding the admission in nursery for the session 2023-24 because I need the admission this year, right? So, and then I start with your email. Now, if I know the name of the person very good, I use the name Dear Ramesh. Or okay, and Ramesh the surname, Dear Mr. Agarwal, if it's too formal and somebody is very senior. If I don't know the name, then simple sir or ma'am. Am I clear? Yes. And then, basically you write the email here, then there is a sending option here, and the attachment option is here. Are we clear? Yes. So basically you pick up your documents from here. Are we clear? Any problem so far? All right. So this was about the composing of email writing. Suryansh, what do I tell you again? Okay, now let's move ahead. Now you have understood what the format is. Yes, what this formal email writing is. Now I'm going to tell you about how to write a good email. Now before that, if you have any question, please ask me now. I'll wait for you guys. Because once I start it, it's very difficult for me to come back. Clear, clear, clear. Very good. Any problem? Take a minute. Think again. All right. Can we edit the email? No, you cannot own. You cannot. Once the email is gone, it's gone. Yes, Sadhguru, if you don't know the name of the person, but these days it's not very difficult to find out the name of the person. If you do, it just gives you a more personalized effect. Now, again, the way you get emails these days, the marketing emails, they are always addressed to you to make you feel that this email is for you, right? So similarly, if you know the name of the person, if you can find out, that's very good. No, there is no such option. I'm with someone in the institute. You can find the email IDs on the website. Sakshi will discuss in detail. I'm just coming on that. No, with it. BCC, nobody gets to. And you don't have to write the name, you have to write the email IDs. Lavia, okay, you did it this time perfectly well. I'm quite impressed that you want to learn something new. But you can send the emails to your family members and see how the emails turn out. So I can Gagan sign means just write the name. That's it. There's no signature exactly. That happens in the email writing. Your email ID from where you sent is the signature itself. You can't deny that you did not send the email. We'll come on that with Ahi. Anything else, guys? Okay, next. Now look at the anatomy. Although all of this is from your study material, anatomy of a good email. Now, this is the subject line, which is the most important part of the email. So, email ID before this to from CCBCC is all about email IDs. Okay. Then comes the subject line. Now, the subject line has to be a good subject line that entices people to open your email to read. If your subject line is not good, people won't read your email. They won't like to read your email. Like I said, a bad subject line or a no subject line can land up your email in a spam. It will put you in the trash, directly. Now, spend double time while crafting the right subject line. Now, heading of anything has to be well crafted. You have to think about what you're going to write because your just few words should be able to summarize what your entire body is about, right? So, whatever you're going to write, spend time of crafting the subject line. Now, every time you're discussing a new topic, change the subject line. Whenever you're discussing a new topic, like for example, I wrote the subject line as regarding the admission of nursery for the session 2023-24. Right now, I've been called for the interview and for the admission. Now the subject line will change. Right, it's going to be the appointment for the interview, or appointment, or the interview date and time, whatever the topic is about, when the interview will happen. So it will say the interview for the admission for the session 2020-2024, because now we have gone ahead, and now interview has to be scheduled. Are we clear? Any problems so far about the subject lines? Right, go through this once. Okay, next. Next comes the salutation. Now, this is my favorite topic and very important one, because people do not know how to write salutations, whether it's form letter or email. Now, directly address the person you are sending the email to. Please, uh, directly address the person whom you are sending the email. Like I just said, that when you send an email directly, uh, it makes it more personal. People want to read it. Now, if you send an email to me saying, "Dear Prachi," then I feel that, okay, this email is from me, I should read, see it once, right? Now, dear students, dear Ms. Jones, hi Mr. Smith, this is how you can use it. If you do not know the person whom you're sending the email, please try to find out. Now, these days you have so many options, LinkedIn, websites, easily names are available, articles. If you don't know that, just find out, use a dear human resource department if you're sending it from department, or dear Sir Matthew. That's it. Clear? Now, now, last point is very important. Suppose you're addressing to person whose name is Sanjay Garg, right? Oh, sorry. Right? Or, so you will have two ways to write the name. Either you use dear Mr. Garg, or you use dear Sanjay, right? Never say dear Sanjay Garg or dear Mr. Sanjay Garg. No. Either you use the surname with the title, or you only use the first name. Are we clear? Any questions on the salutation part? Videhi, I would say not more than 10 words. All right. Next. After salutation comes the body. Now, in the body of the email, you have to introduce yourself, that you know how you are writing to this person with whose reference. Okay, introduce yourself, introduce your main agenda of the email, be clear and concise, divide paragraphs in emails according to the points discussed. Now, I will show you an example after this, and then we'll discuss what does it mean. Main agenda has to be told in the first paragraph, that why you're writing this email. You're writing for a job application, you're writing for your admission, you're writing for any XYZ reason. Be clear and concise, because clarity is very important. You can't go round and round, and it is not like 5 pages long. You have to be very concise. Divide the paragraphs in emails according to the points discussed. Now, one point should be discussed in one paragraph. That makes it clarity, that does not basically confuse anyone. That basically doesn't confuse anyone. Each paragraph should have only one point of discussion. Now, every paragraph should have explanation of only one point, right? So that nobody misses out on their irrelevant point, or it doesn't become boring for someone to read. Close and sign off the email with proper and suitable sentences. Close your email like, I'm looking forward to hear from you soon. Please let me know if any changes are required. Or it has to be proper and suitable. Keep a check on use of grammar, spelling, and punctuation. Like I always say, grammar, spelling, and punctuation. These three things are very important. You can't just write an email without these three things. We see emails that come in such bad English, and you don't want to read the emails. Now, especially when you grow up, for example, you're applying for a job. If your first email is not correct, how will someone choose you for the job? Right? You have to seek an appointment for meeting. You're sending a resume to apply for a position. But if you don't know how to write an email, then how will somebody hire you? Because email writing is so important. Are we clear? Next comes the closing. Now, closing is just when to start off the things on a good note. With your greeting, you should always part well also. It should be a friendly sign off, just like thanks, best, regards, sincerely, best wishes. Right? I feel the best is thanks and regards. Choose a closing that feels genuine to your personality and tailor it to your relationship to ensure professionalism. Now, whatever suits you, maybe you got a senior sending it to junior, you choose closing accordingly. You're a junior sending it to your senior, choose accordingly. You are somebody writing this email to a client who's very precious to you, choose accordingly, closing. Right? Now, something that feels genuine. Are we clear? Now, any questions so far? Dear, Palak, only dear. So, if in such a scenario, if somebody has such a long name, either you say, Dear Mr. Rajput, or you can say, Dear Amrinder. Simple. Videhi, if somebody has two surnames, either you pick one surname or you just pick the first name. That's easy. Okay, now I want to give you a break. I know everybody's tired. Let's take a 5 minutes break and come back at 12 and continue. Harshita. If someone's surname is, by the way, Singh is a surname, Kumar is a middle name, and Anil is a first name. That's how you always say it, okay? So in this case, you say Mr. Singh or dear Anil. Which kind of email should use best regard? I didn't get your question. I don't understand. Sadap, I don't understand your question. Okay. Now I'm going to share with you a little guide of how you can actually write few things. You know, how you can start your email and in different situations. All right. So this should make things easy for you. Okay. Now this is a little guide about how you can start. Now in terms of greetings and salutations, you can say, Dear Jones. Hi Amit. Dear Professor Jain. Now Professor is a title, like just like doctor. So you can use Dear CA Jain. Dear Miss Sharma. All of this is greetings. Then comes introduction. Now how you can start your emails. You can say, Dear Jones, this is to inform you that we would like to conduct a meeting, or we would like to host a seminar on December 5, 2023 in your office premises, right? So some sort of that. When you want to talk about introduction, or just to let you know, because you're informing about something. Good news, bad news. Hi, good news. I've got a news for you. Now you're telling someone about your promotion. It's a good news. And bad news is somebody's holiday being cancelled, right? Somebody's leaves are being cancelled. That's a bad news, right? So you can just start your emails like this. When your email is about the following up on the previous discussion or email. As discussed, we would be, as discussed, we will be sharing the quotations as soon as possible, right? To follow up on our meeting / discussion, uh, please provide us with the details, right? As required, I'm sharing the documents or all the invoices with you for the tax purposes. Regarding or in regards to regarding your email for the inquiry for admission, I would like to inform you that admissions are already closed. Are we clear? So this is the way of emails that you can start with. Asking or requesting. Now, because email is about asking or requesting about something, I would like to know if I'm so and so. Could you please let me know if it is possible for you to share the quotation, price quotation with us today itself? Could you confirm if and when? Could you give me an update, quote, or an estimate? Now you want to say thanks. Thanks for getting back to me. Thanks for the information. I would like to thank you for the update. I would like to thank you for your email, following up on with right anything. If you're ending your email, you can start with, I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I'll let you know, let me know, keep me posted, thanks, regards, and all the best. These are your closings, depending on the conversation, depending about your email. Are we clear about the guide part? In case any problem, you can ask me. Dear Vedehi. It's the new thing. Let me know if you, the boss is writing and asking a few things. The boss can also end on the same that let me know about the progress of the project. Let me know about what happened. Anything. Krishnam, dear is formal. Okay. And these days, dear is very commonly used, and it's all right to use. Otherwise, you can just say hi also. Okay. Now next is the common mistakes. Now, which other? Okay, before I do it, you tell me the common mistakes. What all the common mistakes you think people do in email writing, or what they can do. I've discussed enough with you about email writing. Now you tell me what are the common mistakes people do in email writing or could do. Okay, bad subject line, grammatical mistake, salutation mistake, jargon words, bad format. Lengthy paragraphs, very good for Shiki. Forget to change the paragraph bottom. Okay, perfect. Now look at this. Writing a poor subject line is obviously is one of the things. Then you are not personalizing your greetings basically. So when you don't personalize your greeting, you basically, it's a kind of a mistake, I would say, because you don't personalize the greeting, then it's also a mistake because everybody likes personalization, even if it's a letter, even if it's the letters or your emails or your messages. Nobody likes the generic messages. Now, announcing too much in one message. Now, you put a lot of details in one message. Now, if you are talking to someone for the first time, you're introducing someone for the first time, just keep it an introduction. Don't feed too much of information. Wait for don't tell too much to the person in one go. Wait. First, introduce. If this email is about introduction, just introduce yourself and your product. That's it. Don't start selling the entire thing in one go. Okay. Employing ambiguous language. Now, language that you use is not clear. You are just using any general language that nobody understands. And also somebody who is new to you and somebody who doesn't know your writing style and talking style and you're using a language, that can also go wrong. Copy and pasting. Now you feel that you don't know the about the email writing. So you just pick and copy paste from the previous emails or previous emails that have been shared, or you copy it from the internet. That is wrong. You copy and paste the information that you have internally with the client. Okay. Forgetting to explain attachments. You forget to explain the attachments. Now, there are two things. One is that you attach the documents and you forget to mention it. So you have to mention it by saying, please find attached the required documents. Please find attached the Aadhaar card. Please find attached the copy of required documents. You have to tell what all you're attaching, right? In the way you, in formal letters, you talk about enclosing of documents. Here also you do that. And after writing this, if you forget attaching the documents, that is also a mistake. Using jargon words. Jargon words, I always say, never use. Unless you're talking to somebody who is from your profession, whom knows you very well. Failing to use signature. Now you don't know about the signature, so you do not sign the document. You do not mention anything who's sending this email, what is the designation, what is the company's name, nothing. That is a mistake. Having a poor email format. Now, email format is like you forget to write the subject, or maybe you missed out on the salutation, or you missed out on the attachments. That is a poor email format. Neglect proofreading. Always read what you've written. Never, ever, ever make a mistake of just sending an email without reading it. Am I clear? All right. Next. All right. Now, I want you to read this email and tell me what are mistakes in this email. You have to list down the problems in this email. I give you 5 minutes to this, go through it and tell me the problems. Look at the salutation, look at the email clearly, look at the signature, closing, everything, and tell me what all mistakes are there. Not being in a suitable tone, very good tone, writing in a single long paragraph, writing casual way, neglecting proofreading. Neglecting proofreading means that you did not proofread. Okay, it's a poorly constructed email. Now the problem is that it's not Dear Sally Blue, either it's Dear Miss Sally Blue or Dear Sally. Okay. Now, if you look at the pattern, I read online that you're selling business cards. I was wondering how much if I only wanted 500. Wrong sentence structure. Is color and logo extra? Now, what does that mean? Are you asking what is the cost extra for logo and color? Can I see an example before all are shipped, or will that cost extra? You seem to have a great business, so I can hope you can help me. Now, in this, of course, this person who's writing an email is interested in buying the cards from Sally Blue, but the way she's writing is wrong, right? Am I clear? Now, you have to go one by one. Now, this is how the email should have been. Okay, forget that. Now, oops. Dear Miss Blue, I was searching online for a company that makes business cards. I came across your website and I'm extremely impressed. However, I do have a few questions. Now, because you are contacting somebody for the first time for some business, you have to tell that how we got to know about you. I was searching online for a company that makes business cards. I came across your website. Yes, and I'm extremely impressed. However, I do have a few questions. Now, look at this email and look at this one. I read online that you're selling business cards. Okay, there is a difference. Yes, if I were to order only 500 instead of the advertised 1,000 business cards, how much would that cost? Now, if you look at this, now this is a way of asking the question. Now, in first paragraph, this person who is writing the email, first, now this person is talking how this person got to know about this person's website and how got to know about what this person does. Then he says, I have a few questions, and now the paragraph has been changed. The first question is that if I want only 500 out of the 1,000 cards, how much would that cost? This is first question. Second is, furthermore, I would like my business card to be colored and include the logo of my company. Are those requests possible? If so, how much extra will this cost? Now, in this one, the second question is about the logo and the color of the card. Now, this person asks politely that, is it possible for you to do that? Second, if yes, then how much extra will that cost? Right. Now, third, due to my request for color and logo, I would like to preview the card before receiving all 500. Is that feasible? Now, this person has all the doubts, the first initial doubts about the business cards. When you give the order, before the order, what are questions you have in mind? So this person has taken in mind that, so these are my questions. And it has been listed one by one, not as one paragraph. Unlike in the previous one, it says, I was wondering how much if only 500. Doesn't make sense. Is color and logo extra? Extra for what? Can I see an example before? Now, it's not can I see an example. It's a sample, not an example. Before all are shipped, and will that cost extra? You seem to have a great business, so I hope you can help. Now, this one. I appreciate your assistance and look forward to hearing back from you. Look at the closing. Now, the closing is done in such a way that the other person is, you're telling the other person that I'm expecting a reply from you and a positive reply from you. Are we clear? Okay, sincerely, Jessica Hinks. Now, in the first one, it was just Jess Hinks. Now, who is Jess Hinks? I'm hearing about Jess Hinks for the first time. And if I have to contact you, how do I contact you? How do I know from where you have written the email? So the signature has to be complete. Your designation, If the company's name or designation, is possible, at least the numbers there, even if your designation and the company's name is not there. Like if I have to send an email, I will at least mention my name and number if somebody wants to contact back to me. Are we clear? Not everybody has designations, not everybody is working for a company, but of course they're writing for the emails, right? So in that case, at least your name and number should be complete. Are we clear? Any problems with this one? Suja, I can't say which topic will be given more preference. You get a question from each topic, at least one question each. And especially writing skills, you will be getting a question. You might get options out of like two topics, but you don't know which two topics will be given in options. Well, if you know the person and if you know the person is married, then you use Mrs. If not, then you use Miss because that's the safest option to use. Miss is used for everyone. It's a common term for married and unmarried people. Whether he feasible means possible, yes. Okay, let's look at the next one. Look at this email. Of course, there are a lot of problems. I don't want to ask you what problems are. You have to correct this email and send it to me. Quickly, correct this email. See how this email should have been written and send it to me. Angel, after your name and signature, you have to mention your phone number. Okay. Dear professors, will that be very so? Okay. Anshika, you cannot say dear professor. You have to mention the name of the professor. And you can't even use a short form for professor word. It has to be written completely professor and clearly. One second. You can't use the capitalization in the email. Using capital letters means that you're being rude to someone. And punctuation has to be taken care of. The D of dear has to be capital. Gia, you cannot change the content. If the question says Professor Smith, it has to be Professor Smith. You cannot take my name. And stop sending me the same answer like 100 times. Okay, Prutha Patil. No, it's not. We still have 20 minutes to go, and I still have to teach you two more topics. I'm sorry to inform that. Okay, good, Chanchal. It is a good, I would say, good try. Now, quickly look at this the corrected version of the email. Now, dear Professor Smith, I'm sorry to inform you, but I will not be able to attend class today because I am ill. Would it be possible for you to let me know what I've missed? Thank you for your help, and I will see you in class on Wednesday. Sincerely, Jason Jones. Now, in this case, Jason Jones do not have any designation, and since Jason is the student of Professor Smith, he may or may not mention his number because that's not mandatory. The professor knows that he's a student. Am I clear now? It depends on your professional relationship with someone. So if you see the first line tells you about the agenda, why the person is writing the email, which is that the student is informing the professor that he won't be able to attend the class today, because he's unwell. Then the next paragraph says, would it be possible for you to let me know what I have missed? Which he's trying to say is that, can you help me out with the topics that I will be missing today? And next is, thank you for your help on a positive way. I will see you in class and will informing your teacher that you will be in the class on Wednesday. Sincerely, Jason Jones. Are we clear? So make sure that your first line, the first two lines is telling about the agenda, that why you're writing the email in the first place, and then break down your main points. Now, before the class ends, the two things that I want to discuss with you is, one, the points to remember. Now, in points to remember, be clear about the purpose and proofreading before sending. Once your email has been drafted, please spend time, 5-10 minutes or half an hour, in reading then what this email is about. Do you think the purpose has been justified? Proofread it. See if you are being clear in your language or not, if there is mistake in your drafting of sentences or something. Do that. Use appropriate salutation. Now, the salutation is very important. Like I said, if you use the wrong way, the person will not read your email further if you do not use the correct salutation. Tone and language should be suitable and polite. Always remember, formal email especially, the tone and language has to be suitable and polite. Suitable means that do not use casual language, do not use the vocabulary that you're not supposed to use in formal language. So be very careful about that. Use official email IDs for official purposes. Always have official. Now, what does that mean? When the social media thing started, I'm sure a lot of kids do that these days also. They used to make these funny email IDs. For example, coolramesh@gmail.com, beautifulpreeti@gmail.com. You cannot use such email IDs for your official purposes. You should always have an official. Now, for example, you can include your first name and maybe your birth date with your email ID, or your name, surname, and your birth date, and your year, the year of your birth. That is official, right? So it has to look official email ID for your official purposes. Content. Now, even if you send an email to institute, please register your official email ID with the institute. You should always make a nice email ID, and that should become your regular email ID to use. Content in the email should be logical and systematically organized, of course. In email, because it's short, if you're not organized and if it's not logically written, then mistakes can be caught up very easily. So make sure when you write an email, paragraph-wise, make it sequentially, like how it should be done. Like, for example, here in this email. Now, before mentioning about that I need 500 cards, if I start discussing about it, can you give me a preview of cards before printing? Will that make sense? No. Look at the logic. Whereas the person says that I got to know about, I came across your website and I was very impressed. So I have few questions because I need a business cards. So the second logical question is that what I need is 500 cards, but you do 1,000 cards. Can you do it 500 cards for me, and how much will that cost? Second logical question is that if I choose a color and logo of my company, then will you charge extra for that? Third logical question is, can you give me a preview of before printing the cards? Right? So that is a logically framed email. Next is state the objective clearly in the opening paragraph. Please mention the email, your objective clearly in your first paragraph. Are we clear? Now, make points about information that needs to be included. Now, either you make the points or you divide it in different paragraphs, which is kind of your points of information that needs to be included. Keep the email short, simple, and use a separate paragraph for stating different points so that you don't miss out on anything. And the one who is going to reply to your email, they also don't miss any point. So, segregating the paragraphs just make it the person to read the information and process it clearly. Last topic is, when are emails effective? When you should actually use emails that can actually help you and benefit you. The first thing is when you need a written record of information. When you're having a business deal with someone, verbal things, some people may remember, some people do not remember. But when it's written on emails, everybody remembers what it is about, right? So it basically it helps you to maintain a written record of information, and you can like save it for years and years and years. This never gets deleted. Easier to contact people irrespective of distance, time, schedules. Okay, send someone bulky electronic file. Now, if you want to send somebody like very bulky file, it's easier to send on emails rather than sending it over any courier or something. Right? Send information to larger group. When you want to send an email to larger group and with the bulky files, email it to like 10 people at the same time, it's effective, right? Rather than sending separate couriers to people. All right. When not, never write email when emotional. Never write email when you're angry or you're too happy or you are irritated, because you will tend to use wrong tone of language. You will be using wrong words. When some people are emotional, they don't know what they're writing. Sometimes they are not able to frame the words the way they should frame. So never write emails when you are emotional. By emotional, we mean angry, irritated, too happy, any kind of extreme emotion. Information is confidential, sensitive in nature. Now, when there is something which is really confidential and sensitive, never share on emails, because no matter how much you put the passwords and you do your security things, still nothing is safe. Emails get hacked every day. Your somebody else might know your password and can access your emails. Sometimes when you're accessing an email on your system or anybody else's system, you forget to sign out, so you can basically anybody can steal your information. If the issue is complicated and requires lengthy discussion, whenever there is an issue that requires lengthy discussion, don't write emails, because anyway that will confuse the other person and the other person would not know what you mean. So avoid emails. In that case, you should always conduct a meeting and talk face to face or have a telephonic conversation, and of course video calls these days. Are we clear? All right, so this was about formal emails. Now I'm going to wait for you guys if you have any problems, if you have any questions to ask. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. No, you cannot. Okay, okay. You have to see whom you're writing the email, right? You're writing an email to a professor. You cannot use dear. Oh, you can use dear, but with a title, dear Professor Smith. You cannot use first name of your professor. Are we clear? And in India, you can use respected also, because Indians are more sensitive towards it. So you can use respected when you're talking to your teachers, basically. not professionally. We don't use that anymore. No, Ritika, you cannot. Choice will come. Like, for example, you might get a choice between article writing question and report writing question. That sort of choices I'm talking about. But I'm not sure how many choices you get. Please go through the previous year's questions. Good, Sadaf, if you can. Oh, I think Gmail is good enough. Or you could choose Hotmail, Gmail. Yeah, any of these, all are good. Let me go through it with everyone. Can you please tell me the page number? What you did not understand in the question. Are we talking about this question? You are Abhishek Sanan, an entrepreneur and founded startup innovators. Write an email to your prospective clients telling them about the services and products offered by your company. This is a sales email. You are introducing your company, you're introducing your products. Thank you, Chanchal. Dev, I'm getting your chats. Is there any question that you want me to answer to? Maybe 11.12. Yeah, so what you did not understand in this question? You just have to write a simple email where you basically introduce your new startup. Then you address the people, or so in subject line you say introducing innovators or introducing my new startup innovators. And then you have a salutation. Then you introduce yourself and mention about the reference, if any. If you've got somebody's email ID through someone, mention, like, with reference to my conversation with Mr. ABC, I'm writing this email to you to introduce my startup innovators, right? Uh, then you tell about your agenda, right? Then you talk about that what products or what services you offer. Then you tell the readers about how this will benefit them if they work with you for that particular product or services. And then you end the email on a positive note that we're looking forward to hear from you. So I hope it's clear. G, I've already explained this question 5 times. Yes, choice comes in the exams. Any other query? We still have 5 minutes to go. Please check on Google. No doubts, everything is clear. Please go through the questions which I've given you in our study material. questions given in revision test papers, model test papers, and previous year's questions, I think that should be really good enough to uh, prepare you for your exams. And that would actually give you an idea about all sorts of emails. And yes, Nishi, if you want to, you can. So I'm just going to finish the class in like another 5 minutes. So go through all of that, go through the answers which are given to you so that it's easier for you to uh, practice also, because in the suggested answers, at least we give you a framework of how to write an answer for the writing skills. So do that. The only thing that you need to take care in the writing skills part is the format, and then your language part. Practice your language part as much as you can. Use good vocabulary. Check on internet how emails are written, what all you can add on in your emails, and how you can, right? As I always say, that you cannot run away from these topics. They're going to become part of you in your professional life, in your business life, because you will be using these things every day. So make sure you learn and practice. I'm assuming there are no more doubts, everything is clear. All right, so we'll call it a day, and I'll see you on Saturday now. I can have a session with you on Saturday, and we'll start with the next chapter. And make sure that your study materials are ready with you and before you join the class. And if case you have any problems, you have 2 days, go through these topics, both of the topics, formal letters and formal emails. If you have any question, you can ask me in the next class. And I'll sort out your problems first, and then I'll move ahead. So yes, I have a class with you on 5th as well. So I'll see you on Saturday now. All right, guys, have a good day.